You know, sometimes things come and teachers are like, where was this all my life, right?
So my name is Andrew and I'm the director at STEAM Studio. Before coming to the STEAM Studio, I was a full-time educator in a high school classroom and I worked in nonprofit as well. STEAM Studio is really near and dear to my heart because of what it represents. It represents this intersection of what education and the educational system can be with having industry partners and for-profit companies coming together to try to make a better space for the community and for our young people. STEAM Studio got started out of this idea that teachers needed hands-on access to teaching students how to use STEAM concepts even before they got into their own classroom. So we had some members who were at a local university who were teaching teachers how to teach, and they got with industry and said, hey, there's this need. We see that the local school system maybe is not equipped to give teachers these experiences or have the resources for it. So STEAM Studio was born where we can house equipment, we can house materials, we can house lessons that'll support our young people and the teachers while not having to make drastic changes to a school day or a classroom or funnel a bunch of money into equipment that might only be used once or twice. You've heard of STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math. A lot of those letters are kind of interchangeable a lot of times, but typically we take the traditional meaning of STEM to be that. So we've added the A, which is an inclusion of arts, into it, because we recognize that a lot of students might not necessarily want to be in a science field or a technology field or a math field, but in art, in your creative arts, there's still science present and there's still the skill that you learn in a traditional STEM classroom. You see a lot of teachers who will have rows and you're all facing the same way. And I think that when you're looking at the new age, 21st century skills, understanding that that's not what a work life looks like. There's a lot of change, there's a lot of needing to be modular and flexible. And so having open spaces with furniture that fits our needs for what we're doing in one moment and then can be changed to fit the needs for another moment is really important. It also shows students, hey, we're making an investment in you through your space. It's the first thing they see when they come to a school building.
For somebody who's not familiar with the classroom, they may imagine classroom management to mean I'm in charge and people do what I say. But creating a space that is more flexible and supportive to students sometimes means helping students do what they want to do, even if as a teacher I didn't know exactly what they were going to do when I walked in the room. And so being able to easily dialogue with students to help them become more self-effective learners, I think, is the long-term goal, and that includes prompting effective conversations and establishing routines early on so that they can learn what it means to be effective learners, and then helping them run with that creativity and with that agency as the school year progresses. One of the things that I've noticed as a teacher myself is that has growing returns. So it can feel like a lot of work every September as I'm reestablishing the norms of how we work together, especially in a classroom that's very often different than classrooms that they've been in the past. But by April, we are sprinting. We are going so quickly as they realize the power they have as learners themselves, and we're all working together for them to reap the benefits of learning to do that work early on.
So education traditionally is a very structured environment, and we found that in STEAM, the messier it gets, the better it is. Students are more engaged, they're handling things, they're observing things, and they're interacting with the world around them. You know, when we get them outside of this bubble of their public education, they go back to their houses, they're interacting with everything, they're touching everything, they're moving stuff around, they're experimenting, and there's no reason that the classroom can't be exactly like that.